You're even talking and you're like, oh,
Really?
this looks terrible. I was like, what?
Sometimes
Oh,
I can't
good.
see the monitor very well, and I can't tell if it looks bad or good.
Sometimes I can't see when I'm filming. It's fine.
Oh, I just realized I'm not wearing my wedding ring.
Oh, scandal.
Uh-oh.
Let's address it
People are
now.
gonna think,
Guys, here, you heard it here first. No.
bad news, guys.
Bad news.
No,
Scandal.
I took it off because I spray tanned myself.
I feel like when I have a wedding ring one day, I will like never wear it all the time. Like, because sometimes rings really annoy me. I like want them. I want all the jewelry off me, you know? So
Yeah,
I feel like I
yeah,
put
yeah.
it down. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like with my nose ring, sometimes I'm like, because I don't normally take it off, but I took it off for the first time and put a new one in
I was
for
gonna
like
say,
the first time in years.
Cute.
Thanks.
Like
I wanted
that.
a new vibe. I was sick of the silver.
It
I
looks
wanted something
really
new.
good.
Yeah, it felt like good to have it out for a day. I just had a regular nose. I could like wipe my nose
Yes.
like wild and it wasn't sharp and cutting inside.
Yeah, no, that's always a great feeling. But anyways, hello, welcome.
Stable job in 1981 in Washington, D.C., hosting morning radio at WWDC. Stern knew this job was a big enough resume booster to eventually land him in New York. He knew he needed to be rambunctious to dominate his competition, but he couldn't do it alone. Building a team was very important. He connected with his co-host Robin Quivers. Stern's team loved Robin's laugh and thought she would be a perfect fit for Howard to riff with. She could serve as an effective counterweight to Howard's often racially charged antics. Management liked the idea of pairing the controversial Jewish guy from New York with the black woman from nearby Baltimore. With his dream team assembled, Stern was feeling cocky, and he let his listeners know immediately that he was not your typical radio host. In his very first broadcast at WWDC, he called the office of Mayor Marion Barry and yelled at the assistant who answered the phone to explain what kind of man calls himself Marion. That's a girl's name, Howard insisted. On the second day, he rang a local high school and proposed that students be given the day off to celebrate.
Most of the people I dealt with were high-level drug traffickers who had hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm doing this interview in silhouette because two agencies and an intelligence agency informed me that the Medellin cartel issued a contract on my life. I spent a year and a half putting together what I think is one of the more sophisticated fronts used in undercover. I built the persona of Robert Musella. I dressed the part, certainly had the lifestyle, drove a Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, Jaguar. I was embedded in real businesses. Had an air charter service with a private jet. We had a jewelry chain with 30 locations on the East Coast. A lot of cash goes through the Diamond District every single day. So if you've got those kinds of businesses, you have a very good excuse for where the cash came from. I was embedded in an investment company, a mortgage brokerage business, and even a brokerage firm with a seat on the New York Stock Exchange. And then I and my partner began a 2-year
October is recognized as International Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which means we need to talk about it. But more importantly, thank you so much to Novartis South Africa for bringing us this conversation. And not just bringing us this conversation, also bringing us a phenomenal oncologist and somebody who has extensive experience in breast cancer. So let us welcome Dr. Stembile Ngidi to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Doctor, I want to kick off by actually just acknowledging, I mean, you really have been in this space. You have sat on different boards, organizations. What would you say has been the most surprising thing to find out about breast cancer in all the work that you've done? Because we learn something new pretty much regularly.
I think the most exciting advances in breast cancer
talk with Anderson Cooper. Blagojevich was serving 14 years in prison for soliciting bribes, a sentence later commuted by President Donald Trump on February 18, 2020. Blagojevich is playing up his prison time, referring to himself as a political prisoner and comparing himself to Nelson Mandela.
Today, and that is the shocking fact.
I just got to stop you. I'm sorry. As someone who's worked in South Africa and saw apartheid, the idea that you are comparing yourself to somebody who has actually been railroaded by an apartheid system is just nuts.
Cooper rightfully calls this comparison offensive, but that's not all. As the interview goes on, Cooper grows increasingly resentful and impatient with Blagojevich's statements, and he eventually refers to his alternate universe of facts as bullshit.
You do have an obligation to at least admit what you did wrong, and you refuse to do that, and you're creating a whole new alternate universe of facts, and that may be big in politics today, but it's still, frankly, just bullshit.
This isn't the first time that Cooper has spoken. Alexi Lawless speaks his mind. Sports commentators aren't one to mince words. If a performance sucks, they're going to tell you about it. And Alexi Lawless, a former soccer star and pundit for Fox Sports, certainly told us about it.
It's dark days indeed, but this is a time for leaders to step up. And so to the supposed leaders, I will say this. All right.
While covering a match between the Seattle Sounders and LA Galaxy, Lawless unleashes a barrage of insults against the national United States soccer team. He singles out specific people, including Tim Howard, Jeff Cameron, and Clint Dempsey, and says that those that he didn't single out, quote, don't even warrant a mention.
Yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
Later, he resigned from the show and has struggled for relevance since.
Absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Number 15, Liam Neeson. This interview had social media bursting at the seams with comments for and against the Irish actor. While promoting one of his movies, Neeson opened up in an interview about the time one of his close friends was sexually assaulted by a black man.
To get rid of this, and I'm not racist. This was nearly 40 years ago, but because I was brought up, and maybe I'm rabbiting on, Rob, so forgive.
Is there something wrong?
I can't be the first one to make you feel weird about it.
No, I guess not.
Wearing sunglasses and a big bushy beard, Phoenix mumbled awkwardly through the discussion, causing the host to take verbal shots at him.
What can you tell us about your days with the Unabomber?
While this turned out to be a spoof for his mockumentary, I'm Still Here, the media genuinely believed Phoenix was having a breakdown, and producers stayed away from him.
But you're not going to act anymore?
No.
Huh. Why is that?
I don't know.
The actor admitted in a later interview that the quality of scripts sent to entice him had vastly dropped after the stunt. It took several critically acclaimed projects to put Phoenix's career back on track.
Thank you for letting me come on the show.
Yes, well, we've been dying to have you back a year and a half.
Number 19, Belle Gibson.
Are you prepared to get myself out of the situation because the police told me they want a big fish and I'm a little fish. They ain't who I want.
I'm not targeting anyone, but however, you do not get to commit crimes in my county and then decide to brag on it, which you do that for a form of intimidation and to further the gang and not be held responsible. One of the lyrics used in this indictment, just one of the lyrics is, me and my crew striking out, striking in all black, send me the drop, we'll kick in the house. If we steal a car, we're going to take off the tag. Well, they're kicking indoors, committing home invasions, and now I'm using those lyrics that they're admitting to doing that. I'm going to continue to do that. People can continue to be angry about it. I have some legal advice. Don't confess to crimes on rap lyrics if you do not want them used, or at least get out of my county.
Miss Witt is the real DA now, like for real. That's when I just started paying attention to it, and then
Hi, welcome to Blossom Talk. I'm Ashley Floor, journalist, Hollywood truth teller, and your voice of reason in a town built on delusion. So I have a little surprise episode for you guys because this morning Nelson Aspen contacted me and he was like, we have to talk about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's split. So Nelson actually was in their wedding almost 20 years ago, and he's got a lot of insight he wanted to share with you guys. If you're new here, Nelson is an award-winning journalist and a host and an author. I'll leave a link to his books below if you're interested in that. Some of these stories are in his books. He's got so many scoops, so please welcome Nelson Aspen. Nelson, welcome back to Blossom Talk. I'm super excited to have you here today because you, I feel, are the expert on this particular subject.
Well, because of my 20